If someone hurt you badly enough that you cut them out of your life completely, are you wrong for making sure they stay cut out, even when your kids are the ones who pay the price for it? Because that's the question my whole family is circling right now, and I genuinely don't know the answer anymore. Okay, so my mom, her name is Renata, and I haven't spoken in 6 years. Not a text, not a birthday card, nothing. And before anyone jumps in with "that's so sad," let me give you the short version of why. When I was 23, I found out she'd been telling my entire extended family, aunts, cousins, my grandmother before she passed, that I had a drinking problem, that I was unstable, that they shouldn't lend me money or let me stay with them because I'd steal from them. None of it was true, not even close. I was in grad school, working 2 jobs, completely sober. But she'd been saying this for years, apparently. Years. I only found out because my cousin slipped up at a family dinner and said something about being relieved I'd got help. I didn't know what she was talking about. One conversation later, the whole thing unraveled. When I confronted Renata, she didn't deny it. She said she was worried about me and that she'd exaggerated because she wanted people to keep an eye on me. She cried. She said she loved me. And I walked out of her house and I didn't go back. That was the right call. I still believe that. Fast forward to now, I'm 34. I have 2 kids, Maya, who's 7, and Daniel, who's 4. They have never met Renata. They know they have a grandma on my side who we don't see, and honestly, at their ages, they haven't pushed too hard on why. My husband, Theo, has been supportive, mostly. And then about 2 months ago, Renata reached out through my aunt with a letter. Handwritten, 3 pages. She said she'd been in therapy, that she understood what she'd done, that she wasn't asking for a relationship with me, just to meet her grandchildren. And that's where everything cracked open again. I showed Theo the letter. He read it twice, set it down, and said, "I think you should at least consider it." And I felt that land somewhere in my chest in a way I didn't like. I said, "Consider it how?" She built a lie about me for years and handed it to everyone I trusted. He said, "I know, and I'm not saying forgive her. I'm saying, are we keeping our kids from a grandmother because of something she did to you?" And I said, "Yes, that's exactly what we're doing." He didn't argue. But he didn't fully drop it either. Then my aunt called. Her name is Patris. She's always been the family diplomat, and she made her case calmly and carefully that Renata is 61, that she has some health stuff going on, nothing terminal but enough to make things feel more urgent, and that Maya and Daniel might one day want to know her and we'd have made that choice for them. I told Patris, Renata made this choice, not me. Patris said, "Sweetheart, I know, but children aren't collateral." That one stung. I won't pretend it didn't. I brought it up with my therapist, who, to her credit, didn't tell me what to do. She asked me why I'd kept the information from my kids so carefully. Was it to protect them or to protect the decision I'd already made? And I sat with that for a week and I didn't like what came up. Here's the thing though, Renata didn't just lie about me to family. She lied in ways that had real consequences. My grandmother died without ever fully trusting me again. I could feel it in every hug at the end, that slight hesitation. I will never get that back. That's not something you do by accident or out of love. That's calculated. So here's what I did, and this is the part where I need you to weigh in. I wrote Renata a letter back through my aunt, same channel she used, and I told her no, no meeting with the kids, not now, maybe not ever, but I didn't stop there. I also told my aunt that if Renata tried to go around me, if she reached out to Theo directly, or somehow made contact with the kids at a school event or a family gathering, I would make sure every single person in our extended family knew exactly what she'd done to me in writing, with the documentation I'd kept. Emails from cousins asking if I was doing okay. Notes from that original dinner. All of it. Patris called me the next day and said I'd gone too far. That threatening Renata in a letter was cruel, that she was genuinely trying to change, and that I'd turned a boundary into a weapon. Theo read the letter and went quiet for a long time. He didn't say I was wrong, but he said, "That doesn't sound like you." My aunt told me Renata cried for 2 days, and the thing is, part of me felt relief. Like I'd finally said, there are actual consequences here. You don't just get to write 3 nice pages and walk back in. But another part of me heard Patris's voice saying, "Children aren't collateral," and wondered if I'd just done to Renata exactly what she once did to me, used information as a threat to control a situation. I don't think it's the same, but I can feel how someone else might. A few weeks later, Patris told me Renata had stopped asking about the kids, that she'd told her therapist she was accepting the outcome. And I don't know how to feel about that. There's no triumph in it. There's also no regret, not exactly. What there is this quiet question that won't quite leave me alone. My kids are going to grow up and find out about all of this someday. They'll read the letter I sent. They'll hear what Renata did. They'll hear what I did back. And I don't know yet which part they'll have more questions about. So, I protected my kids from someone who hurt me in a deep, permanent way. I also threatened that person in writing to make sure she stayed out. And my husband still gets a little quiet when her name comes up, which tells me he hasn't fully landed on a verdict either. Am I wrong here? Honestly, though, what would you have done? Comment below.